Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to welcome you all. I think all of our panelists are on this morning and we're ready to go. It's nice to see attendees coming on as well. So I just wanted to welcome you all to the first Falcon Business Alliance webinar, How Business Can Move Forward in Uncertain Times. And I'd like to begin by introducing myself. I'm Natasha Ovando Karachi. I'm the owner of a local real estate brokerage called Core Properties. And I have the pleasure of chairing the City of Mesa Economic Development Advisory Board and am co-founder of the Falcon Business Alliance. And we have put together a really great panel of experts today to bring you all the latest information on resources available to businesses in our community. We'll also be sharing information later on the newly formed Falcon Business Alliance. So first, we just have a bit of housekeeping. We are live via Zoom, and this webinar is being recorded so you can revisit topics at a later date from this webinar or share it with other people you know that might find it helpful. We've dedicated some personnel to watching for comments and feedback in the questions, so if you please submit your comments via the chat button at the bottom of your screen, that would be super helpful, and we'll do our best to address the questions during our discussion. Both Councilmember Luna and I will be monitoring that as well with some assistance. If we don't get to your question, please know that it's important. We want to respond to you, but we may do so via email over the coming days, and as we're able to get you that information. So I'd like to begin by introducing the co-founder of the Falcon Business Alliance, Councilmember David Luna, who's the representative of District 5 here in Northeast Mesa, and a true champion of business growth and economic development within our city. Councilmember Luna.
Thank you, Natasha. I am so excited that we were able to achieve this wonderful goal that you and I have talked about for several years, how to bring businesses in Northeast Mesa together to talk about some common issues. Obviously, we are going through a pandemic, and it has affected many of our businesses here in the Northeast part of Mesa. And what we want to be able to do is talk to the businesses. We acknowledge that you are going through some hard times, but fortunately, working together, we can hopefully achieve some goals and get through this together. I am so excited that we have so many people participating in this conference. We hope that we continue providing you with some important information as we go through this pandemic. I know shortly that Natasha, you are going to be introducing our panelists. I am so grateful for them and for their assistance. They're going to provide you with some very important information as we go through this pandemic. I know that together we are strong and we can solve these issues that are currently confronting us. So thank you so much. We want you to participate. We want you to share your insights. We want you to share your concerns. What can we do at the City of Mesa? What can we do together as District 5, as a Falcon Business Alliance, to try to resolve some of these issues? We want your full participation. And I do have to acknowledge my council assistant, Isaiah, as well as Mr. John Karachi. They're working together in the background, making this happen. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge them and thank them for their hard work as we continue to move forward. So thank you very much, John, and I thank you also to my council assistant, Isaiah. Now I'll toss it back to you, Natasha, and you can introduce our wonderful panelists.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Luna. We are lucky to have you advocating for our businesses in our community. We've had the blessing of working together for several years, and I really think you are such a huge asset to our district. As I mentioned before, we have a great panel of experts joining us today. We're joined by William Jabginiak, City of Mesa Economic Development Director, Jay O'Donnell, City of Mesa Assistant Economic Development Director, and Sally Harrison, Mesa Chamber of Commerce President and CEO. And I'd like to begin our discussion by starting with Bill Jabginiak, City of Mesa Economic Development Director, who's going to give us some updates on where things are right now. Take it away, Bill.
Thanks, Natasha. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well and staying healthy out there. I'm going to touch on a few of the resources that are available. Going to quickly go through those. Certainly, we can follow up with more detailed answers. And I'm going to make a few comments about the economy and what we're seeing in terms of activity and where I think we're going to go in terms of opening things back up. But let me start with our Paycheck Protection Program. Federal government stepped right up and they provided a lot of resources to us. So hopefully people have gotten themselves online and filled out the information for a Paycheck Protection Program. Another 300 and some odd $1 million was available to as of Monday morning. It's still available as of this morning, which is great. They are limiting the size of banks that can actually participate at the moment. That case started yesterday afternoon. And again, this is if you can keep your employees, and 75% of this is used for payroll, you can actually get this loan. It is then forgiven over a period of time. So that's a big one that everybody should be well aware of and in tune with. Another one that just received $60 million of new money was actually the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. That is another federal program. They're actually stopped taking applications temporarily, trying to process the backlog. But again, that's a $10,000 advance that I think is important to keep businesses going. And that loan advance does not have to be repaid if it's used properly. The third one, which is not as popular as those two, is the Small Business Debt Relief Program. So if you've gone out and got a 7A loan or a 504 loan or a micro loan, you can actually have 6 months worth of payments forgiven. If you're not in deferment today, the next payment due and for the following 6 months can be forgiven. So there are great resources that are out there, and I think that's important for people to be aware of. Let me touch on two other. These are more local in nature. So the Mesa Cares Business Assistance Center. The effort around COVID at the city of Mesa is called Mesa Cares. And in the Mesa Cares, if you go to the website, Mesa Cares, and then you go to the business section, you'll see a lot of information there overall throughout the whole city about programming, but specifically for the business community. And then the other option is the City of Mesa's economic development website, which is selectmesa.com, Mesa Cares Business. It's a great portal for information, contacts about resources, contacts about job placement folks. There are companies hiring today, believe it or not. So I think that's going to be important for you. Now, let me jump here a little bit to where we're at today. And I will tell you that not everything's just, I know it seems doom and gloom and things, everybody's battling for their life out there, but there is activity. And we're still seeing a continued interest from California. This economy was so strong beforehand that there's a continuation of out-migration coming from California that is certainly to business-friendly states like us, that's a positive. The distribution sector, logistics, will benefit the most from that. Think about all the supplies that are needed. We're starting to see activity, and I can tell you from the brokerage community, I'm hearing deals that have 2 or 3 different offers for especially bigger floor plates. So I think that's important. I think when we look at our whole pipeline, we have about 50% of those are still going forward. The other 50% have hit pause. That's not a bad percentage given how hot this economy was. So as things start to open up, you'll see that percentage go further, and I think that's going to be important. There will be a continued demand, if not an increased demand, for industrial for obvious reasons. It was strong already. You're going to see that sector lead, I believe. Office demand will be a little bit weaker, but I think that when you start to look at different aspects, I really see the industrial sector leading our progress going forward. The other thing, what we're focused on with our regional and state partners is reshoring. A lot of what's happening is bringing things back from, regionalizing supply. So if they're getting product out of China, that's going to stop, or they're going to change that effort. Mexico will probably be a logical destination for some of that. With our proximity to Mexico, we're going to be a great opportunity for some of that. So those are some of the things that I see in the economy. And I really think that going forward, we just need things to open up gradually like the governor's doing, and you're going to see us step on the gas with a lot of marketing, but there's some great opportunities still out there. With that, council member, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, I'm going to just jump in, Bill, with one quick question. Can you just speak to the Falcon district and to this area a little bit about economic strength that we've had in the last few months, and then, kind of what you see? Do you see activity? Are you hearing stuff up here as well? I think we're all interested as citizens up here.
Yeah, so am I. I think that we are continuing to see interest. There is projects that have been put on hold. I can tell you some of that in and around the field. I think that what we're seeing now is new sites being developed. We're seeing some of the bigger companies are still pushing forward with projects. That's important. They're taking advantage of this marketplace and still going on. We continue to see interest. I think, with some of the other spec buildings, we've seen several leases actually go by the door in the last 6 weeks too. So again, there's economic activity. It's going to take a little bit longer to get through the process, but certainly we're seeing the activity both in the Falcon Field area and also down in the Gateway area specifically.
Okay. Councilmember Luna?
Yeah, I would have to corroborate what Bill is saying. I've been approached by developers, of course, they're attorneys, to talk about development opportunities in District 5 in Northeast Mesa. So we know the activities, and I've had conversations of some activities happening in North Mesa. So it may have slowed a little bit, but despite the challenges we're facing, we are seeing some, some movement, which is exciting for us because I think it'll help us get through this pandemic a little quicker.
Great. Thank you, Council Member. And thank you, Bill, for that insight. I think it's great for people to, hear what's happening. That the Department of Economic Development has been tasked with absorbing a lot of this new information that's coming down the pike, which has been, as you know, for all of us, overwhelming, the changes that have happened in the last 8 weeks. And as the cities tried to grapple with this. So, everybody's working really, really hard. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Jay O'Donnell, who is the City of Mesa Assistant Economic Development Director, and she's had her hands particularly full trying to absorb all of, how to manage all of the funds that are coming through the city and the programs and the changes and everything. So Jay, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Natasha, and thank you everyone for tuning in today. Really appreciate your time and interest. Natasha mentioned that we've been busy, and we have. I had the pleasure of presenting to City Council this morning a new program that we are launching called the Small Business Reemergence Program. And I will talk a little bit more about that in just a couple of minutes. But I wanted to just let everyone know that there is a team of people here at the city that is working diligently to save Mesa businesses and to make sure that we're doing as much as we possibly can to partner with the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, Visit Mesa, Downtown Mesa Association to really market the businesses who are open or who have modified their hours and really need to try and maintain some of their customer base. And we're working hard to try and improve the revenues to some degree, if at all possible. And so I've been so pleased to see how quickly the city has mobilized around this effort. And as part of that, I wanted to just talk a little bit about how we've gotten to where we are now. We've done a needs assessment, not only of the community and residents, but the Office of Economic Development has really spearheaded the business outreach to directly contact businesses and find out specifically what their needs are right now and what would help them the most. We have also launched a business impact survey, which is scheduled to close tonight at midnight. It's been open for a little over a month. And we're surveying Mesa businesses to find out specifically what they need and what would help them. We're also asking them, how significantly they've been impacted by COVID-19, and we're getting some really good insight. We have also worked, as I mentioned, on marketing, and so we're in the process now. We're actually in the middle of a marketing campaign where we are promoting Support Mesa Now and driving people who see our ads on Facebook and through Google search to the Support Mesa Now website, which has a list of retailers and restaurants that are open for business. In addition to that, we have launched our website, selectmesa.com/Mesa Cares Business, specifically geared toward companies who need information and resources now related to helping with COVID recovery. And it's also been a really good resource for employees or people who have lost their job and who are looking for employers who are hiring. So there's that connectivity there. There's the linking and the networking. That's been a really positive move for the city to provide to businesses, and that was a very quick turnaround. Just briefly, as I mentioned, I presented this morning our proposal for our small business reemergence program. This program will be an approximately $18 million grant program for businesses in Mesa who have been impacted by COVID-19. And we have a number of different goals for the program, but primarily it is focused on those businesses who are small, less than 100, which we have, just in terms of the statistics, there are 12,000 businesses in Mesa, and there are 11,800 businesses that have less than 100 employees. And if you even bring it down to 50 employees or less, it's 11,500 businesses. So small businesses are the backbone of Mesa's economy. As far as the program is concerned, we wound up getting wonderful feedback and direction from council this morning. So we have a goal of launching the program May 11th. It's a Monday in basically a week. So we will be spending next week training our Mesa Cares call center staff, as well as marketing the program and making sure that everybody knows that it's available. We're really trying to focus on those small businesses and businesses that did not receive SBA funding or CARES funding. We know there is a great need here in Mesa, and a lot of businesses who either did not have a relationship with a lender in advance of this, or they were just underbanked, so to speak. So this is what we hope will be a tremendous help to those businesses in our community. And the intent of the program is to provide relief and financial assistance specifically to businesses with the intent for them to reopen or to come up to full operating hours. Lastly, I just want to add, we will have a technical assistance program in place that is geared toward helping companies who need support services, and they might include marketing assistance or web development. We've learned that a lot of the companies don't have websites and they're not able to take online payments. So in this environment, it's extremely difficult for them to even make money or survive. So helping those companies from a marketing perspective, but then also helping restaurants and retailers who need to redesign the interior of their space and helping them figure out what the best way is to train their employees for safety and health practices. So we're putting those lists of vendors and consultants and academic institutions who are partnering with us. We're putting those lists together now, and should have that ready to launch in another week or two as well. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Jay. I think Councilmember Luna has a question for you.
First of all, Jay, thank you for that wonderful presentation this morning. We are going to be sharing the list, the link, to the website. And once that link is there, then they can follow up and watch the presentation that Jay presented this morning. I got a message from Karen Martinez, and she wants to know what would be the process. Is this going to be available through the website where they can apply for a loan? Maybe if you can go over that again.
Sure, absolutely. So the application is going to be an online application. So we will have a website where people can go, click on the link, fill out their information. And our IT staff have just been amazing. I've been so pleased to work with them throughout this process. But the form we have tried to keep very simple and streamlined. So it should not take a long time to fill out. I would say probably a half hour or less. There will be a requirement that businesses who are applying need to have a commercial address in Mesa. So they have to have a physical space in Mesa that is commercial in nature. This is a grant program. The money is granted out. There's not a loan associated with it. The awards will be based on the demand. So if we wind up getting 6,000 applicants, the awards will likely be reduced in size. If we get 1,000 to 2,000 applicants, we'll be able to award larger chunks of money, and there will likely be tiers of funding available. We talked a little bit about having maybe a preference or a prioritization based on the industries that were hit the hardest. We know retail, restaurants, and hoteliers were hit the hardest, but we want to make sure also that those businesses who have received CARES funding we're not double dipping. We want to be very sensitive to that. And frankly, I think the CARES program would fund at a higher level than we would here necessarily. So trying to manage expectations and not get too far ahead of ourselves. So the application will be online. It'll be open for 2 weeks, and then we'll close the application and evaluate what requests have come in and how subscribed the program is, and what we can do then for awards. So we plan on determining that and sending out award letters by the end of May. And then with that letter, there will be some terms and conditions that the recipient will need to sign that basically says, you know, I'm pledging to use this money. And you can apply for funding for rent, so lease payments, as well as a mortgage and your utilities. So those two basic things that are considered monthly operating essential expenses. And we're allowing businesses to apply for 90 days. So if your monthly bill for all of your utilities in March is $1,000, and then your rent is $5,000 a month, that'd be $6,000 times 3 months. You could, in theory, request $18,000, if that makes sense. So we're trying to get this money deployed as quickly as possible and make sure that it is going direct to the businesses.
That's great. Did any of our panelists want to comment on that at all? Okay. So Jay, thank you so much. And I just want to say again, I mean, the speed at which this is trying to be launched, I know it feels like an eternity when you're a business to wait for funding. It's really, really hard. I've been independent in business for 25 years, and it's a struggle every day. But just, know that behind the scenes, there are people working as fast as they can. But, when you have federal money coming through, there are regulations and there's city regulations. And so they're trying to digest it all. I mean, I think that's the best way, is just how to digest this all and turn it around for the, to get it into the hands of businesses. So stay tuned also to our platforms, Falcon Business Alliance and the city platforms, to make sure that you're aware when this opens. I think, we've noticed through PPP and EIDL that the money is going so fast and it's moving so fast. You really need to pay attention and be ready to apply, know what your numbers are for those expenses, as, these things open up, so you're ready to go. So thanks again, Jay, for everything that you're doing. And next we want to highlight the assistance and efforts underway in the private sector as a great partner and valuable resource to the city, the Mesa Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Sally Harrison. I don't even know if you're sleeping right now. I think you must be on a permanent, I know you're working just tirelessly with our businesses here to help them. And so if you could just give us a few words on kind of what you're seeing out there, and also, what we can do to move through this and help local businesses.
Thank you, Natasha, and thank you, Councilmember Luna. It's really good to be on this call. I will say that in addition to the information that Jay just gave, we've had some good luck working with some of our smaller and commercial banks and credit unions. So for Karen Martinez, who's asking, that might be an option for her. We've had some really good luck getting some support from them and having them help process those applications. So I just wanted to go over a few things that the Chamber has been doing. We started working on a COVID page right away so we can stay in touch with our members and non-members and really focus on informing and educating businesses. Like Bill had mentioned, the doom and gloom, you can get that anywhere. We didn't want to be a part of that. So we've tried to stay very upbeat and communicating with our members as much as we can. A lot of it, of course, is through Zoom. Chambers are typically very involved with members and engaged in you know, a lot of meetings and events, and that came to a stop right away. So from day one, we've continued to do our best to keep our COVID page updated. We are one of 8 members of a Chamber of Commerce Alliance, and to date, we have set up 3 different surveys to businesses throughout the East Valley. So reports from and survey information are on our website, and we've tried to address information based on feedback from businesses themselves. That being said, we started a hashtag Mesa Takeout program, I think the day after Juicy's first statements back in early March, and we've reached out to all of our businesses, our restaurants that are being affected, but then we've started reaching out to non-members too. So we've got staff that have been making calls to basically all of our members and then focused on restaurants and small businesses because they seem to be the ones that are needing the most help at this point. I will say that our Capital Opportunity Program that we started close to a year ago now, we're finding Mesa-based solutions for businesses to apply for and receive PPP funding using our members and non-members. So that program is a good opportunity for folks to reach out to, and we can get them in touch with the right banks and credit unions to help them. We have a very robust nonprofit vitality council that we've worked with for several years. At this point, I believe there's about 70 nonprofits and churches that are involved in that. We typically have a meeting once a month, and now it's every 2 weeks. It's the discussions on Zoom have been led by Dave Richens, who's the CEO of United Food Bank. And really the benefit to folks being on that, it's nonprofits that are on that call, but in addition to that, we have businesses that just want to be supportive of nonprofits. And a lot of kind of wants and needs and who has supply that can share with others. So if the food bank has an extra supply of something, they may be giving it to some of our smaller agencies to help them, which has been really good to watch that. You know, a lot of our businesses and residents have been stepping up in ways that I don't think anybody was prepared for, but a lot of our folks have, and when able to, they've kind of come to the rescue. And at this point, a handful of our manufacturers and defense contractors have stepped up and they've put their own production on hold, and now they are producing PPE, which has been not just for Mesa, but for the state, really incredible to see the amount of effort that's gone into that. So something I'm really proud of to watch our folks, that they have the ability to do it, and they've chosen to set their own work aside. Our education committee is just coordinating promotion for access to resources for those who are sheltering at home. ASU for You is a great program that's online, and a lot of the classes that you can take online are free, and there's also some great classes that are available for teens and children. There's even tours, so you can tour museums online, which is really cool. And then I just wanted to mention that we have an Aging and Healthcare committee, and our women's group has kind of worked with that group to basically do a letter writing and a note card writing campaign for all of the shelter in the seniors that are kind of stuck in their senior facilities. So we've got, I think, about 600 names at this point that we're writing letters to. So lots of opportunities, lots of outreach, lots of need, but some good things that are happening in our community.
Thank you, Sally. And
Sure.
Councilmember Luna, did you have anything to contribute?
Thank you, Sally, for all your hard work supporting our small businesses. They're the lifeblood of Mesa and of the nation. So we want to make sure that they're well supported. And I appreciate your leadership in working with all these committees because they all add value to the city of Mesa. So thank you so much.
And I think I just want to echo that as well. So thank you, Sally, for all that you're doing. You know, again, it's everybody's had to pivot, you know, going from one of the most robust economies that we had in early March, you know, end of February, early March, and, you know, switching to where we are today in such a short period of time. It's just required a lot of, you know, just being nimble. And, you know, so I just want to thank all of our panelists, Bill Japjiniak, Jay O'Donnell, and Sally Harrison, again, personally for all the hard work they're doing. And of course our council. And then I just wanted to give a brief overview of what the Falcon Business Alliance is and what we're trying to accomplish by creating this. So the first mission of this organization really is to be hyper-local and assist our local businesses by providing up-to-date information and resources that may not necessarily be easy for you to find. We're collaborating with the city to make sure that you get all of that information. So we'll be running our platforms as well. And the goal ultimately is that we will be able to meet in person so that we can just, you know, when we get to that point, hopefully by the summer, that we can get in the room and just try to figure out what everybody needs. And the second mission really of this organization is to build community between our businesses. For many of you that it went through the last recession, our creative collaboration is really what helped many of us survive. And, you know, whether we're bartering services, sharing employees, exchanging information, working together in any way that we can, I've learned that when we work together, we all have a better shot. So that's what we're trying to do through this. And then the third component of this is to provide mentorship where needed. We are very talent rich in Northeast Mesa. And so we're working on building a core of active and retired business owners and executives to provide free mentorship to our members. We have briefly gone out with a request for mentors, and I have been really surprised by how many people have replied back saying, I'm willing to help. People at every level of business that are like, hey, if there is any way I can help. If I know when I started my first business, I worked through the SCORE program. It was the Service Corps of Retired Executives. It was really helpful to me to have somebody objective just help me look at my business, help me strategically plan, and maybe figure out how to manage some things I just had never dealt with before. So I would really encourage you to email us if you're interested in participating in that as a mentor or mentee. We'd love to be able to help you because there are, again, a lot of people that are willing to do so. And we're really just launching this very grassroots alliance. It's free of charge, so stay tuned to our Facebook page. Be patient with us if we don't get back to you immediately, but we will. You know, we're doing our best to reply within 24 hours. You can visit us on our LinkedIn page or just go to the falconbusinessalliance.com, and we'll be doing more, you know, webinars as we go forward. And you know, do let us know what you need. We have really, you know, great access to great people and information and resources. So just email us and reach out to us and let us know, like, okay, we can try to put you in touch. Both council member Luna and I are very committed to helping you do that in any way that we can. Sally just mentioned SCORE works out of the chamber if anyone needs assistance that way. Of course, you know, a big plug to the chamber. If you're not a Chamber of Commerce member, please do sign up. And, you know, if you have the resources right now to do that, I know that they offer incredible support to our businesses. And, you know, and with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Council Member Luna.
Natasha, thank you personally. I want to thank you for your leadership and putting this wonderful webinar together. I appreciate you, John, and the technology aspect of it, working with my council assistant, Isaiah. Thank you for making it work. But I want to also thank the audience, for those who signed up, who are watching the presentation. We need your input. We need your involvement. We want to continue on with this conversation. As Natasha mentioned, together we can solve a lot of problems. We can get through this, and I know that we can. But also I want to thank our wonderful panelists. We have a stellar group of people. We have Sally Harrison, CEO of the Mesa Chamber, from our Economic Development Department, Bill Jabjiniak and Jay O'Donnell. Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for helping our community, because this is our community. Together we are Mesa. And we all need to work together to solve this problem that we're currently facing. But we can do it. And I'm so excited about that. So we're looking forward to your participation. I'm planning to work closely with Natasha to provide you more information. These kind of updates are important as we go through this pandemic. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
That's great. Thank you, Councilmember Luna. And once again, please do reach out to us. I would be remiss without thanking Chloe Kim, who has been my assistant, who's been working incredibly hard to build a website in 1 week, help us build out our platforms to create this. And I think I've said to everyone on the panel that in normal times, it would have taken us a year to build the Falcon Business Alliance, and we did it in, I think, what, 3 weeks? And so we're working really fast. And please, just again, we just ask you to be in touch. If you know other businesses in the community, potential mentors, please have them sign up on the website so that we can start disseminating information. And thank you all so very much. We are here to help and support you in any way that we can. And I do think, just personally, in talking to everyone and looking around, I do think Arizona will fare better than some places in the country. I think that's the general consensus. We were so strong economically going into this pandemic, and we won't be without impact, certainly. It won't be back to normal a few weeks from now, but I think we have a better chance of coming out stronger together than than some of the other areas of the country. So with that, I do think we have some good luck. So you guys stay strong and healthy out there. Thank you all so very much. And we'll be in touch going forward.